Alright guys, Dabu7, one of two things here. We've either found Flight 370 or we have found a flight that is just highly suspect in an area that just makes it even more suspect, is what I'm about to show you. All the information, after I sit back and I tally it, after you first find out what I'm about to show you, you have to let it sink in for a minute, and then go back and look at the details, which I'm going to try to touch on in this video. Just north of Diego Garcia is the Maldives. The Maldives is the one and only spot right out the gate when this whole thing happened that witnesses came running out stating they seen a low-flying aircraft in the area that following morning in the Maldives, just north of Diego Garcia. Well, all this attention's down here on Diego Garcia, which the flight could have landed there, but how about an even more remote spot? And hey, we've even got witnesses that seen it. Okay, so let's go in and check this place out. This is flashearth.com. I'll leave a link and you can see the coordinates where I'm going right here. This is amazing. If this is not Flight 370, it is highly suspect, and I'd like to know what you guys think about it. But I'm telling you, I don't even think the runway that I'm about to show you is fitted to handle an aircraft this large, and it may be the reason it's damaged. When you zoom in north of Diego Garcia and you go to the Maldives, you're going to come to this tiny little island situated down here. And you really have to go out here and put your work in to find this, unless you have the coordinates. And you will find that there is a runway hidden right here on this little island. Well, it's not hidden, you can see it, but the island itself is pretty hidden because it's so small. But look what we have here. We have a full-sized, large jet sitting on this runway with a cracked wing. This is not a commercial airport. The only thing that throws this off is the color I see down here at the tail, but I'm telling you right now, I do not put it past them to paint this thing whatsoever. That's the only thing that I can see in this. The shape, the size, everything. And I want to say this. If this isn't Flight 370, what you have here is an aircraft that came in and attempted to make a landing on this runway here and wrecked. Had to have. Its wing is damaged. And I'm not sure if this runway is big enough for a craft like this. I mean, look at it. The distance that you see here only goes to right here. I mean, I don't even think that that is a big enough runway for this size of an aircraft. I may be wrong, but nonetheless, it is highly suspect. And I tell you what, with all this going down, you know, what are the odds that just north of Diego Garcia in this remote little island, the only place where witnesses stated that morning that they seen a large craft, sits this large craft on a runway with a broken wing? Have we found Flight 370? Is this it? If not, what is this? How come we haven't heard about this plane wreck then, if that's the case? This is a large commercial craft, guys. Not just a little private liner. Let me know what you think, man. This could be huge. It's been Dabu7. Peace. Hey guys, Dabu7. Wanted to share with you this piece here to just let it be known to everybody that, you know, it's a complete setup here in America, even when it comes down to the cars you drive, because they're not letting you get your hands on. And I know some of you out there are like, well, yeah, you know this. Some people don't realize what's going on here. That's why I put out videos like this. Not everybody's on the same level of knowledge here. So for those of you that are wondering why, you know, things are the way they are, well, these oil tycoons run this country and world, and they want everybody to succumb to their oil standard. Well, over in Europe, they've broken away from this. They're a lot more free than we are when it comes to being able to own a car that has potential to break records. These cars over here, like this one, 52.8 US miles per gallon, even higher. But guess what? You won't never see it here because it's banned. They won't let it happen. They'll give you 30 days to pack it up and ship it out of this country, or they will come and they will seize it, and they will do it for you. Or they will crush it, destroy it. See this? This thing, 78.5 imperial miles per gallon on the highway for a wagon. Incredible. And that isn't all. They've got some record-breaking ones there. 261 miles per gallon, this Volkswagen. Absolutely incredible. And even if you could afford the car and you wanted to utilize this kind of technology here and save, well, they're not going to let you. And that's the sad part about it. All of these cars banned in America because they don't let you fall into their trap. They want you to have these vehicles that are only getting in the 30s at miles per gallon at best. And that's it. And therefore, you're buying more gas from them. Basically, if you had these cars, you would cut that in half. In some instances, you could almost completely erase it. I mean, the potential's never ending. This just goes to show this is no longer the land of the free, and we do not stand as an example to the rest of the world on what freedom is. And it's just sad. But this is just another instance, and I want to share it with you, that any of these vehicles, especially 50 miles per gallon plus, are banned here in America. I'll leave a link so you guys can read this whole story. It's been Dabu7. Peace.
Live, this is One for the Record. I'm Diana, and today, there we go, there's the pets, they're sleeping. Today is April 8th, 2014, and I'm going to show you your news updates for today. So stay tuned, and I'll show you what Dabu77's channel has discovered. He might have discovered the plane. The missing plane. And so I'm going to run just videos. And it's starting to get cold in Florida again. I think we have another vortex coming, winter vortex. So heads up, weather's getting ready to change again. So stay safe, and I'll see you on the flip side. Stay tuned. And I think after Dabu77's thing, I'm going to run, this is Dr. DEAGLE on Jeff RENSE, and he's on his program from April 3rd, I believe, and it tells you what's really going on in this matrix that we're in. The meaning of life, according to Dr. DEAGLE. Alrighty then. It is 2 days down, 3 to go before the weekend, and I'll see you tomorrow on the flip side. Just be safe, be prepared for anything. Alrighty then. Just watch the videos. And his thing is just like a radio station. You don't need to see the funny pictures that were attached. I want you just to listen to this, just so you have an idea what's really going on. Alright, be safe.
Smart dust, and we're talking about the literal term dust. You could inhale these process controllers, you could have it injected into you, and they literally will embed in your tissues and turn you functionally into a cyborg. They can embed these in walls and roads, they can embed them through skyscrapers and everything, so literally the entire environment literally gets translated into the matrix.
That's how close we are. That'll be the next, Bill called it iteration, the next generation of this micro tiny little computer chip.
Right.
And you know how technology works. They're on the way.
Now, I'll explain this because it's going to go into some things that are a little bit woo-woo. And some of this you're going to have to take on faith because I'm not going to be able to get in this program all of the information out, but I'll explain this. The universe is composed of 3 compartments. The compartment we are in is literally the lake of fire. There's 5 dimensions to our world, not 3 or 4. The 5th dimension they call the Higgs field, which is the structure of dark matter and dark energy, is actually a quantum, which means a granulated, a quantum tunnel wormhole we call the Higgs field. The Higgs field in its various forms generates the effect of electromagnetism, electrical fields, gravity, mass, inertia. All the laws of physics are encased. In other words, the 3 dimensions of space are embedded in time, which is time-space, and time-space is invested in the Higgs field. So our world is a world of what's called chaos or entropy, entropic degeneration. The order that comes into our universe comes from higher dimensional a place called hyperspace, which is the 6th to the 12th dimension. These are, you want to call it the spirit dimension or hyperspace. Physicists are looking at it. Our universe is an enclosed envelope, like a bubble, our local universe, and there's infinite universes, like bubbles coming off bubbles. And what we have to understand is that second phase, which is the hyperspace, is the second realm. Okay? And there are evil entities that exist there and have for eons that have intentions to abort the human beings on this earth, and I'll explain why that is. Because our world is a hologram. Our universe, the people hear about the holographic universe, our entire universe, our world, our bubble, is a hologram.
What do you mean by that, Bill, for our listeners? What does a hologram mean? Does that mean we're living in an illusion?
A picture, a high-definition picture on television, only this is projecting reality, and we are actually, on this realm level, we are actually a projection from a higher dimensional plane. In other words, when we look at the solidness of our hands and our sun and other things, we're looking at objects that are literally created by higher dimensional space that actually are creating this realm of granularity. In other words, there's granularity to time, just like there's pixels in your TV. There's pixelated time-space, and that pixelated time-space is embedded in pixelated Higgs field, which is the quantum tunnel wormhole. Okay? So there's 5 dimensions that create our world, and by a hologram, when you saw Star Wars and you see a hologram of Obi-Wan Kenobi or whatever, you're seeing a 3-dimensional, 4-dimensional, which means that the pictures change in that hologram. But we're actually in a 5th dimensional holographic, multi-dimensional, if you want to call it, world space that is, in a sense, like the Mayans talk about this, and about the Hindus, they talk about Maya or illusion. In other words, to the higher dimensional realms, our whole world is an illusion. It's basically a created, the arrow of time is literally itself is manufactured. On the higher dimensional planes, time-space doesn't exist. Okay?
Okay.
Now, the top dimension beyond that is beyond dimensions. We call it the 13, which is why you'll see a lot of the Masonic organizations always use the number 13. Because all the higher levels of the ancient druids and all the ancient shamans all knew that there were 3 realms to the universe. And the highest dimension is beyond all the dimensions of hyperspace. It's the dimension of the eternal now. There is no past, no present or future. Everything is now. Everything is infinite of knowledge, infinite omniscience, and it goes beyond all the I call the Google of the infinite bubbles of time space that exist. Now, why is that important to know this? Because we're not just in a war against greedy people or psychotic people that want all the power and money. We're in a war with transdimensional beings that have avatared human beings, have bred specific classes of human beings to be easily broken by Reichian mind control so they can avatar them. And a good example is I see a picture of on Drudge is Hillary Rodham Clinton. Her family have put her and her ancestors through sex magic rituals and human sacrifice for many, many generations to create a class that can easily be avatared like a, Porsche 911. And these bodies are wetware for these transdimensional entities to rule them, because the people that rule us are the people of clay, human flesh, and iron, meaning transdimensional entities that exist in hyperspace. Okay? And if you want to translate it into the ancient terms, they're demonically possessed. Now, those beings have minions that exist in our universe, in physical places in specific star systems. And the reason why there's an obsession with the Orion Nebula and the belt of Orion, specifically in Sirius B, is because many of these beings that came here as the ancient ones that brought technology to mankind and messed with our genetics were from this specific space and place in space. And they need to know this. People need to know these are not unidentified flying objects. They're identified fiendish entities. And they've been here forever. The Bible will hint at it. You'll see every ancient book. But the fact is the highest levels of all the religious groups like the Vatican, the highest levels of all the Masonic organizations, the highest levels of all the secret agencies in every government on earth, all know this. That's why when you see the Sabbatean Satanists, they're directly collaborating with these beings. Okay?
All right.
Now, I'm not speculating.
We are going to get, just for our listeners, we are going to get to a Fukushima update because there are things happening
I've got
there.
lots of stuff on Fukushima. What people need to understand is what's going on here is their plan is to abort mankind. They want to use fluoridation, toxic food, GMO food, and so on, because they're trying to cut off the connection between the physical body, which is our physical body on this plane, to our spiritual body, which we call our soul, that exists in hyperspace. And it's connected through the pineal gland and the magnetite particles in our pineal gland to our hyperspace body called our soul, and it can be disconnected if you damage that portion of the brain. So you can make people literally turn into the undead. They become biological machines.